Pokémon. There are over 1,000 Pokémon spanning across over 9 generations. And a big question I get asked a lot is, what are my favorites? I've been asked this question quite a few times, and I really had to think about this because there are so many that I love. Pokemon's played a massive part in my childhood, and I think you guys will see from this list that my range of favorite Pokemon varies. There are so many honorable mentions I wish that I could give. It was honestly really hard going through this list and trying to sift through all of them because there are so many amazing Pokemon, so many cool designs, and so many really fun moments that I share because of Pokemon. So there are many Pokemon I wish I could put onto this list, but I wanted to go ahead and stick with my top 10. I also wanted to say I did try to put in a lot of effort with editing this video. It's definitely something very different from the channel, so I hope you guys will like it and I hope it comes out okay. But I think honestly I'm going to try and cut the rambling there because this is a pretty fun one I have in store for you guys. So with that, if you like the video, don't forget to leave a like as it really helps out the channel. But without any further ado, let's go ahead and get into my top 10 favorite Pokemon. Now this one may come as a bit of surprise to you guys because it is a ghost type Pokemon, and yes, it is Gengar. I have always really liked Gengar's design, but it honestly started appealing to me a lot more once I got older. Something about its playful and cheeky personality I just thought was honestly so cool. I mean, a lot of the moves that Gengar has are honestly also really overpowered, and I think they look amazing. I don't know, I've always loved Gengar. And I mean, do you guys remember that one episode where that Gengar got abandoned and waited for its trainer forever? I don't know, something about that just completely changed the way that I think about Gengar, and I love it. I think it's such a cool Pokemon, and honestly, it's why I love this little ghost guy. Coming in at number 9 has got to be my sweet little water seal, Popplio. You guys know Alola is one of my favorite gens of all time, and Popplio is a big reason why. I love the evolution line, and honestly, I'm kind of upset about all of the hate that Popplio gets because I think it is so cute. This little sweetie pie has some of the coolest moves ever, and honestly, I tried to take the shinies out when I was doing this list, but I remember shiny hunting for my first shiny starter Popplio at the beginning of Ultra Moon, and honestly, putting all that time in just made me grow to adore this Pokemon even more, and I think it is definitely deserving of its place on this list. Of course, number 8 had to be an Evolution. I wonder if you guys will be able to guess how many Evolutions are in my top 10. Now, I remember when I was a kid, I absolutely fell in love with Espeon and Umbreon. I thought they were so cool, but as I've gotten older, I have found that I have a huge soft spot for this dark type Pokemon. It is just honestly really cool. I think it's quite strong. I think the design is cool, and like I said with Popplio, I'm trying not to let my shiny memories influence this list too much, but I think shiny Umbreon is absolutely amazing. I mean, overall, Umbreon is just such a cool Pokemon. I like the typing. I think the design is solid all around. And I mean, if I was in the Pokemon world and I had an Umbreon, I would just feel like I'm too cool for school. So I really love this Pokemon's design so much. And jumping into number 7, it's kind of funny. I wanted to say Popplio was the only starter on this list, but I guess technically this one is too, with number 7 being Eevee. I love Eevee so much, and I always have ever since I was a kid. It was one of my absolute favorite Pokemon of all time. I mean, I think for me, the thing that really sold me on Eevee is the fact there is so much potential to have it be whatever you want it to be. But if you want it to just be an Eevee, then that's good enough as well. I remember getting my first Eevee and not being able to decide what to evolve it in, so I just didn't. I just left it as an Eevee, and there's something so perfect about it. I mean, I think in my opinion, Eevee is almost the perfect Pokemon because you can make it whatever you want, but even as it is, it's too adorable. Now, this one may be a little bit of a surprise to you guys, but back at the start of my channel, one of the first Pokemon I ever shiny hunted was actually Esper. And I mean, I wish I could show you guys my notes right now, but one of the reasons I have for putting Esper as one of my favorite Pokemon of all time It's the eyes. These eyes, man. I love them so much. They are so funny. They're so goofy. Overall, I think 𝑠pa's design is really cute and really, really unique. I love its playful nature. I love how mischievous it is. But at the same time, I really liked having 𝑠pa on my team. Playing through it in Gen 6 was just honestly a lot of fun. And once again, I tried not to let shinies influence this list too much, but I mean, its shiny looks so, so good. So there's no way I could not put 𝑠pa in my top 10. It's just too cute. You guys will come to find I love a lot of Pokemon from Alola. I don't know what it is about Alola that just stuck with me so hard, but I can definitely say the Pokemon play a massive part in this. And I would say one of my favorite Pokemon of all time, making it into top 5, has to be Mimikyu. Mimikyu is by far my favorite Pika clone that they have ever made. I think they took a really cool spin with the design. I love the ghost fairy typing as well. I think that's super, super unique and honestly makes me love this Pokemon even more. I mean, we even have that super wholesome story with Team Rocket and Mimikyu, which once again just melts my heart. And I mean, honestly, Mimikyu kind of has a little bit of an underdog story, and something about it just has always drawn me in, and it's honestly grown to be one of my favorite Pokemon of all time. I love this little guy. If I could have one on my team of 6, I definitely would. I just want to hug this thing and tell it that everything's gonna be okay. Okay, I kind of cheated with this one, but I put number 4 as Slurpuff and Swirlix. I mean, I'm gonna keep this short and sweet. They're food-themed Pokemon, dessert-themed Pokemon, and they're supposed to smell like cotton candy. And when I tried to pick who I was going to put first or second, I decided I would kind of cheat a little bit here and put them both as a tie for my number 4 slot, because honestly, I love them just as much as I love one or the other. I think they're really cute and also, once again, really fun to battle with, so I love these two Pokemon. Now getting into the top 3. I mean, I think a lot of you guys are going to know my top 3, but coming in at 3rd place is Alolan Vulpix. I love Alolan Vulpix so much. I mean, when I was a kid, Cantonian Vulpix and Eevee were like my favorite Pokemon. And over time, I grew to really love Ice types. So when Gen 7 dropped another absolute banger of a Pokemon and gave us Alolan Vulpix, my heart just melted. I love this little snow fox so much, and I think it is very fitting to be in my number 3 slot for my top 10 favorite Pokemon. Now, this is where I think a lot of people might get a little bit unsure about who my second favorite Pokemon of all time is. And I've got to say, it was hard to pick, but I'm going to put Sylveon at number 2. This fairy type is so cool. The design is amazing. I have the most plushies in my collection of Sylveon. I think it's just really, really cute. The colors are super fun. And I remember when fairy types came out, it was like Pokemon just was like, hey, Buttercup, do you want something really cool and fun that you can play with on your team that's actually kind of amazingly strong? And I was like, you know what? Yes, I would love that. That would be amazing. And Sylveon quickly rose to becoming one of my favorite Pokemon of all time, and she has just stayed there. I mean, the fairy typing, the fact the design looks so, so cool, the moves that she has are really awesome. There's a lot of great merch, and as a merch collector, I love that. But all around, I just think she's perfect, and I love her, and that's why she's number 2 on my list. And you guys already know, that means there can only be one left, and that has to be Skitty. My love for Skitty started with a game called Pokemon Mystery Dungeon Explorers of Time when I was a kid. It was the first Pokemon game that I ever owned, and I remember playing through and doing the personality quiz, and I remember I got Skitty. I was in love with this little pink cat from the moment that I saw it. I mean, I loved Skitty even in the anime. There were so many adorable cameos. I mean, I kind of feel like if I was a Pokemon, I would be a Skitty. It's cute, it's lazy, and it's pink. I mean, I don't know. I just think it's all around for me. It's always just been an amazing Pokemon. I know it's not competitively the most viable, but there's something about this Pokemon that has always resonated a lot with me, and nothing's ever been able to top it as my favorite Pokemon. Its ditzy nature, its carefree attitude. I mean, I think we can all take a lot from Skitty if I'm being completely honest. And like I said, ever since I was a kid, this Pokemon's held a very special place in my heart. So that's why I have to go ahead and give Skitty my number 1 favorite spot as my favorite Pokemon of all time. But with that, you guys, it wraps up my top 10 favorite Pokemon of all time, at least as it stands with all of the Pokemon that are out right now. I wanted to kind of go through and pick a lot of Pokemon that I thought I really liked the designs or really sentimental to me. You'll notice that there were no mythicals or legendaries on this list. I mean, I guess that wasn't really on purpose, but I kind of feel like I want to do a separate video going through and ranking all of those Pokemon, so I'll save that for another time. But regardless, I really hope you guys did enjoy this video. Like I said, it was definitely something very different for me to film, and it took a lot of time to put together, so I hope you guys enjoy it. Don't forget to let me know your guys' favorite Pokemon down in the comments section, and I will see you guys in the next one. Bye!